Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to be showing you how you can change the headphone jack on your Xbox One controller. Now obviously not all Xbox One controllers have a headphone jack, but if yours does and it goes faulty, then it's very easy and very cheap to change out. So you can normally buy the parts for around £3 or £4 from places like eBay, and this is the parts here. You don't need to do any soldering. It will just put pressure on the board and it will make the contact via these contacts here. So the price of this one that I paid was, I'll just show you, there you go, £2.99. So you can see it's very cheap indeed. And that wasn't from China, that was from a UK seller and it arrived within a couple of days. Now, the model number it's going to work on is model number 1708. So if your controller has the model number 1708 in the battery compartment, then you're going to be able to do this, and it's very easy to do. Now, when you open it up, you are going to have to take the battery little sticker off the back in the compartment, so you are going to void your warranty by doing this. So just bear that in mind. You can't then take it back to Xbox and say, oh, the button's gone faulty if you've already opened it up. So now to get into it, it's nice and easy to do. What we have to do is we have to take these covers off here. Now it is a lot easier if you use a tool. Sometimes you can just get your hands in here and you can just kind of get your fingernails in and rip it out. So let me see if I can do that or not. My nails are quite short, so I might not be able to. But sometimes you can get your fingers in here and just use force and rip it out. But in this instance now, I'm not going to be able to do this because my nails are too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little tool, and I'm just going to wedge it in here, and I'm just going to use a bit of pressure like that. I'm just going to hold it open now, and then can you see now I'm just popping it out, and when you pop it out now it feels like you're going to break it, but you're not. So obviously I've used a little tool for that, which makes it easier, but I'm going to try using this one with a knife because not everybody's going to go out and buy a tool for doing this. So again, I'm just going to go up here by the trigger, and I'm just going to lever it out a little bit so I can get my finger in here. And now once I've got my finger in here, I can now keep the pressure outwards, put my knife in here, and I'm just going to nice and gently pop it out. And you can see it pops out. Like I said, it does feel like you're going to break it, but normally it's pretty strong and they stay intact. Right, so we are going to have to undo some screws, and you will need a special Torx security screwdriver to do this. Again, you can get them cheap. You can either buy them in a kit like this. It's always handy to have a few separate bits. It will come in useful for many different jobs. But if not, you'll be able to just buy one on its own on eBay. So let me just find out which one I need. Right, in my opinion, the best fit is the T9. Okay. So we've got a screw here, a screw here, a screw here, and a screw here, and annoyingly there's a screw in the middle here, and that's how they know you've been into it, because you can normally you have to pierce through here. But what I'm going to do on this one is I'm just going to start to peel back the sticker in the corner, and then if you're very careful, hopefully you'll be able to get the sticker back without any damage. Okay. So there's going to be a little bit of damage there in the corner. Let me try to there we go. Also, while you've got this apart, it gives you a good chance to clean up your controller as well. So now, what I'm going to do is, front plate comes off really easy, so now if you do want to clean your analog sticks and stuff, it's the perfect opportunity to do so, and your D-pad. Right, okay, so that slides out like that. Now just be careful of these motors here, because there's nothing actually holding them in, and if they drop out enough times you could damage the wires because they're soldered onto the board here. Right, so our headphone jack is just in this section here, so what we have to do is we have to loosen two screws, one in the corner here and one in the corner here, and annoyingly they are a different size, so let me just show you which size they are. Right, so in my opinion they are a T6. Okay, so we need a T6 for the two inside screws, T9 for the outside and T6 for the inside. And we're just going to undo the screw here, one here and here. Okay, now those two are out. Right, now what we have to do is we just have to loosen it a little bit to get the headphone jack to fall out. So it's got a connector just here, and this is what connects this board to the back board. So I'm just going to loosen it off like that. Yeah, you can see I've loosened it, and now the headphone jack should just fall out. There we go, and now this is the old one out. So you can throw that one away and you can install your new one. So with the new one, we're going to place it in this way. So remember, this is the front of the controller here. So the front, you've got to be so careful with these, they keep falling out. Right, okay, so by the D-pad, you want to be putting it in, obviously with the hole facing down. So by the D-pad, you want to be putting it in this side so that the prongs are facing the board, because obviously these prongs here have to make contact with the board. So we're just going to be placing it in just like that, and you can see that gravity stops it from falling down. Yeah, so here it is here, like that. Now I'm just going to place the board back down, and you need to make sure it goes back into its socket there. They need to be pushed in. If you leave this bowed out, then it's not going to make the connection. You have to push that in there. Also, while you're here, make sure that that little wire doesn't fall out either, that little aerial wire there, or antenna. Right, so we're happy with that now. That's in there nice and securely. So now I'm just going to do up the screw here and here. Okay, you don't have to go crazy when you're doing it up. Just nip it up. Don't do it too hard, because you're only screwing into plastic. You can temporarily move the wires out the way if you want. Okay, and then put them back. Right, so that is it with the new headphone jack in place. Yeah. So now we just have to put the controller back together. Obviously clean it if you want to clean it. That goes on there like that. And then this one just fits on. Be careful now. What often happens is you see these battery contacts here. When you put them in, you can find it's hard to put on, and that's because these bits have actually gone here on the outside rather than through the hole. So you have to make sure that they go through the hole. Can you see? Like that. Right, and then with the triggers, you can see it's not going in. Just press the trigger down, and that basically pops it into place. So now all we have to do is do up the 5 screws again, one behind here and the others. So I'm just going to start in the middle, and we have to change our bit back to the T9. It's one of those bits if you're wondering what they are. Let me just focus that in. There you go. Can you see it's shaped like that and it's got the hole in the middle? And the T6 bit again, shaped like that with a hole in the middle. Not going to put the sticker back yet, I'm just going to put it all together to begin with to make sure that it's gone together nicely. Helps if you've got magnetic screwdrivers as well. Again, don't go too crazy when you're doing it up, just nip it up. Don't use all your force. Okay, so they're in. Now I'm going to slide this sticker back. And Microsoft will still probably know that you've been into it if you were ever to send it back, but it just looks nicer when you're changing your batteries to have a nice sticker rather than a big hole in the middle of it. Right, so put that back in, put this on, and all we've got to do now is put the grips back on, which is really easy to do. Just line them up and clip them into place, like so. So that's now in. And this one's now in. So now we're going to turn it on and we're just going to test it to make sure the sound's coming through it. Right, let me take you over to my Xbox. Right, so let's see if the mic's working to begin with. So I've got the mic turned on. You can see it's recognised that up the top right hand side there's a symbol there that looks like a headset with a microphone on it. Right, okay, so let's speak to Cortana and see if she can hear us. Hey Cortana! What's the weather like in Australia, Sydney? Right, okay, so that's come to there. And now let's just make sure that the sound is coming through to here. So let's turn the volume up full and let's move around. Yeah, if you have a listen to there, that's one ear. Let's do the other ear. Okay, so as you can see, really easy to do. So there's no point in throwing away or selling your controller cheap if the headphone jack goes. It's really not a problem. Even if you're unfortunate enough to break your headphones while they're in here, rather than struggling for ages trying to get the headphone jack out, you know, the actual male part of it out, you can just change that over. You've seen how easy it is to do, and I got that for £3 UK. You can actually get it cheaper if you're willing to wait for it to come from China. So a very simple job to do. You've seen it didn't take a lot of skills. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.